Hey everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. We are going to be working with the Back to School collection from Echo Park. So it includes a 12 by 12 sticker sheet along with 12 pattern papers. We are going to be making two double page layouts, so 4 pages total. And we have no extra embellishments to work with today. So we're just going to be utilizing papers in the kit and the sticker sheet. We also have 4 sheets of cardstock, all 4 from Stampin' Up. 2 of them are called Poppy Parade and 2 of them are called Mango Melody. Now Mango Melody is sort of like an orangey yellow kind of a color. I tried to match up the red and the orange color from like this striped paper here. So that orangey yellow color sort of reminds me of like a pencil, like a traditional like old school style pencil. And then that red is just kind of an orangish red. It's very similar to this paper here. And so I just based it on the colors in this kit. So we're making 4 pages, 2 double page layouts, and obviously every page is different. So I'm going to have to try and match up the backgrounds because they're not going to be the same on both sides for the background pages. So here, that 3x4 journaling card, I saved it for this to the side because we're going to need more embellishments to work with later. And so we're going to save that. And I also like this paper because I can use this lined paper here as a backdrop for my embellishments, and I can also cut out that side if I want to later as well. So I saved those to the side for embellishments. And the 4x4 journaling cards, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit harder to work with, so I'm going to put that to the side and we'll see if we'll need it later. This striped paper, it works with our cardstock, it works with all of our pattern papers. It's for sure going to be an accent paper. This paper here, I would rather use the borders of it. I don't really love the other side, that green plaid. It's definitely not the color scheme I'm going for, so we're going to put that to the side. So we need 3 accent papers and 4 background pages. So this apple paper here, I don't love it either, so we're going to save it and put it to the side. Maybe use the journaling cards, but I doubt it. And then here, we're just going to kind of look at the backgrounds. Here we have as options. Now, this polka dot paper here, that sort of reddish orange color, we're going to put that as an accent paper because it doesn't really go with the rest of it'll stand out on all of these potential background papers here, and it also works with the striped paper. The only concern I have is that it's very similar in color to our cardstock, so if we may run into the problem of it sort of disappearing onto the cardstock if we are layering it with that color. But if we have to deal with that when the time comes, we can simply mat it with white or black cardstock just to make it stand out on that cardstock. So it's a concern, but it's something I can deal with later. Okay, so for backgrounds, I decided to group together these 3 sets because this bottom white one here, it's obviously white based, but there's pencils with it. And then the top pairing with the alphabets, that's sort of an orangish based color with a dark background. And then we have our plain black and white set here. So that, I'm trying to decide on my 3rd accent paper here. Now, that pattern paper with the pencils and the schoolhouse and the scissors, and then this Your Dreams paper with the trophy. Those were my 2 options that I liked for my 3rd accent paper, and I had a really hard time deciding. But then I decided that I wanted to have a lighter colored background, so the pencil paper and then the paper with the pencils and the schoolhouse and the scissors, that's going to be my first set of background pages. I went ahead and decided to go with that trophy page for the accent paper. So then that left me with this black and white set of background pages. Let's go ahead and we'll get started. We have cutting diagrams in my tutorial videos, and I just kind of want to let you know how to read them. So there's the number in top in inches, and that's going to be the size that we're going to cut that cut piece into. And there's a number below it in a circle. So a lot of the times we're making 4 pages or 6 pages when we're using these cutting diagrams, and all these cut pieces can sort of get very disorganized. So that number inside of the circle there represents a pile that you're going to put that cut piece into. So for a 4-page tutorial, we're going to make 4 piles. And for a 6-page tutorial, we're going to make 6 piles. So the numbers are going to be either 1 through 4 or 1 through 6. So page 1 is going to have all the cut pieces that have a circle with the number 1 inside. And so on for the 4 or 6 pages. So now we're going to go ahead and take all pieces of our cardstock, and we are going to cut 1 inch in, 1 inch from the top, and 1 inch from the bottom. And we're going to make a straight line on all 4 sides of each of these pieces of cardstock. What we're basically doing is cutting a 10 by 10 inch square out of the center of this piece of cardstock. The border is going to be put into our pile, and the center, the 10 by 10 inch center, is going to be put to the side, and we're going to be cutting it with another cutting diagram as soon as we're done cutting out all of these squares. Okay, so for our background papers, we are going to be cutting off 0.25 inches on one side and 0.5 inches off on the other side. The reason why we're offsetting it is because we want the insides of our double layouts to be touching the edges so that they look like they're connected. When your paper goes through the cutter in the same direction that it would be on your layout, that's the side that you want to cut 0.25 inches off on. So when your page is sideways through the cutter, you actually want to cut 0.5 inches off on that side. Okay. Okay, so here I felt like that red cardstock blended in with that red polka dot paper a little bit too much. So when I'm assembling this page here, I decided to shift over this orange piece of cardstock. I shifted it over a bit more, which meant that I had to shift over this 3x4 orange matte paper off of the polka dot paper. I still think it looks well, and it just makes that red cardstock stand out even more now that that orange piece of cardstock is behind it. So I just simply moved it over instead of trying to create another mat. Okay, so because we only have our sticker sheet to use for embellishments for this for these 4 pages, I decided to go ahead and utilize all of the journaling cards and the border pieces and things like that that came in with the paper collection, and utilize them to the most that we could, so that we could use them as embellishments. So here I cut out these border pieces, I cut out the 4x6 journaling cards, and I also cut out the 3x4 journaling cards. And we're gonna just gonna use scissors, foam tape, foam squares, and that's and our regular adhesive of choice. And that's pretty much all that we need to get these pages done today. So here I'm taking one of our border pieces and I'm cutting it so that we just have like this white tabbed piece left, and I want to tuck it in at the top of our page here, and I want it to span both pages, so we're gonna have to cut it in the middle where it's appropriate. So I just marked it with my scissors there so that I could cut it in the right place. And I mean, it's not really going to be lining up to one edge or the other, so if you have to move it over a little bit, it's not a big deal. But what I loved about this look is it almost made it look like there was a file folder sticking out underneath this red and orange cardstock. Okay, so the inspiration for these 2 double layouts, my first set of pages, so my first double layout, this layout here is going to be back to school. So for me, this is about watching them get on the bus in the morning, and pictures of them with their first day of school outfits and with their backpacks on, things like that. And then my second set of pages is just going to be random school memories. So when I go do hot food and I see them in the hallway, and I snap a picture, or if they come and visit me, I'll snap a picture. Just little candid moments of them in their school environment. So here I just cut around this journaling card, this back to school one. And I adhered that directly down. And then I layered on top of it with that little schoolhouse that's popped up. And here I had originally cut this piece, I think it was 3.5 by 4.5, and then I trimmed it down to be just slightly bigger than this 3x4 journaling card. And I just wanted to layer it behind just to create another layer. The more layers, the better. It just gives more dimension to the page, more texture. And I just like the look of it. So that those two pieces were directly adhered to the page, and then this school bus was popped up. And so now I'm just looking at my sticker sheet and deciding on a few more elements that I want. I love this back to school wording. Thought it fit great in that top corner. And then this banner here, I kind of put it between those two 4x6 journaling or photo areas. Now, if you have more pictures, you could definitely put 4 3x4 photos there instead of 2 4x6 photos. You just make it work for you. So all the rest of the embellishments on this page are just going to be layered and clustered together to make this back to school theme page. Now, I'm behind in my scrapbooking. So for me, I have elementary pictures that I need to use that for back to school. So this kit works really well, especially for elementary school kind of years. I think it's a good general school-based kit. I mean, I think it may be more suitable to younger kids, but I think it's just so generic when it comes to like school related stuff that you could definitely use it for older kids as well. So here I'm just kind of, I want to create another cluster in that top corner. I think it just needs a little bit more there. So I popped up this circle that says getting smarter every day. And then I wanted to put some smaller embellishments around it. So I directly stuck on this mathematics equation here, and then I layered it with a few office supply items there. And then that's it for this layout. My next set of layouts here is all going to be about general school memories. So I'm going to try and make some more clusters on this page. Utilizing a lot of the same techniques I used on the other page. How many of you guys are still dealing with back to school? Like, I know this summer it went by so fast, and now that, like, I remember when my kids were little, I used to love when school started again. I craved the routine and having the schedule, and just there was just, I think when your kids are little, like, you're just, going off routine is just maybe a little bit harder. And I really appreciated when my kids were little that when they were gone to school, I could run errands, I could go to town and get things done in like half the time, and I wouldn't have a bunch of kids that didn't really want to be there tagging along, doing groceries and things like that. So this piece here that I just cut, this lined paper here, I think I cut that at 2 by 3 inches. I made it work with that embellishment that says play nice, work hard, and stay kind. But yeah, now that my kids are older, and I miss them when they go to school. I feel like we all have such busy lives with our activities and things like that, when the summertime, I really feel like that's our time to reconnect and to just value hanging out with each other. And once we're back to the craziness of sports and different activities that we it just seems like we don't have enough time to hang out with each other. So the summers are definitely appreciated now when it comes to family time. And my oldest son, he's 14 now, or he's going to be 14 at the end of the month. So we actually have our own company. My husband's a custom home builder. So he's actually been going to work with dad instead of hanging out with mom at home all summer. So he spent, I would say half the time at work this summer. So I definitely missed having him around as well. He's excited about going to get his learner's license, which is another big milestone for a kid and another big worry moment for a mom. So I'm not looking forward to that, but that's coming next just before school starts. And where I live, the leaves are already starting to turn colors, and it's really I feel like it's an early fall this year. So I think I'm going to be working on fall layouts soon. Who's ready for fall scrapbooking? Fall and Christmas. I see there's Halloween and Christmas out already. I think we're going to start working on fall layouts next week. So we will see you next Friday with a new tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.